So this is the situation. Black pawns are going down the board, and this position is a draw. And let's see how it's a draw. Even though the rook is behind the pawns, and the king is closer, so usually black would win if this was here and the king was still far away. This would easily be a winning position for black, but this is a draw. Now let's see how. So let's look at the first logical move, which is h4, and this move has two situations. This move has two branches. First is rook g7 check, and the second one is king e7. Let's look at rook g7 first. So rook g7, king goes to f4, rook f7 check, king goes here, and now we bring our king. And this move is because we are trying to uh, have the king control this pawn, kind of approaching the pawn. And now let's say he goes here, king goes to g6, and this move is to allow the rook to get here so that he controls this pawn if for promotion. So rook is controlling that pawn. And now king goes to h2. If this pawn, we just play this, and if king tries to protect and promote, then we attack with the king. Now let's say he goes here, and then we again threaten, and you can't promote. Let's say you promote, then we take with the rook, and the king takes, and this is a draw. Now let's look at this position. This king attacks, I push, and king attacks again, and so this is also a draw because the pawn is attacked twice, so he'll push, and you can't promote in this situation. Also look same, the promotes, and then king takes. So now let's look at this move, king h2. Now you attack the pawn pushes, you attack the pawn again, pawn pushes again, and now you play this pin to the king attacks the rook, and then you play king to g3, and this is also a draw because after pushing you just take the pawn, and then you with check you take the pawn again, and then white wins, so black wouldn't push, and so this is a draw. And yeah, so the next move after h4 would be king e7, and now let's go there, king e6. Now king is trying to block our king, so we'll play king f4, king d5, king g3, king e4, and now king h2. Now since the king is blocking its own pawn, we go rook g7 to attack this pawn. We go here, we bring our king, attacking the pawn again, and then he pushes, and then we play king f2, protecting the promotion square so that he won't promote. Here the pawn promotes, and we lose the rook. So let's do this. King goes to h1, rook goes here, attacking this pawn, so we play this, and rook will take, and it's a stalemate, and so this position is also g3. And here you can just give checks again, check, goes here, check, and now you have two options, go to either h3 or f3. Let's look at f3, and now king goes here, pushes the pawn, and to g5, attacking this pawn. So if he promotes, we just take the pawn, and otherwise we take this pawn. So pushes the pawn, king goes g6, And now we protect this square, promotion square. King goes to h5, attacking this pawn. Now we push the pawn and king comes to h4, and this is now king goes here. King can't go there because this pawn is hanging, so this is a draw. You can't push the pawn. Rook takes, king takes this, and after this you can't move the king because this pawn is hanging, so this is a draw. Now let's look at king f3. Now we give a check, king goes to here, and then we play this move. Now the pawn can't be saved, and this is just you can just take the pawn next move, and this pawn is also lost after that. I mean, it's a draw anyways. So yeah. Now let's look at king e7, which is the other move other than the rook checks. And now we play h4, king e6, king g4, and now the next move, king e5. This move is a losing move. Now let's see why. h3, and these two pawns are very strong. Any one of them can promote to a queen. Now any move, let's say we stick to the plan. We go h2. Let's go that. Not h2, let's go this move because this is not controlled by the rook. So rook check, goes back, and this move is losing because h2, and if rook takes we make a queen, and so both these squares are controlled and it's not checkmate. And so yeah, so the main move after king g4 is rook check, and now the king has two moves. It can also go here, but then the position is like stuck and the king can just come closer. So let's go with king f4 first, and now king rook goes here, and if g2, then this could be also losing for black. So because you lose the pawn, and then this pawn is, although it is very close, but it's very hard for black to be able to, it's either mostly a draw. So let's look at king f3. After this, let's look at king f3, and now so after king f3 we play rook f7, and now you don't need to play this because you're just separating yourself from the pawn. So let's go, let's look at it first. King e3, then king goes here, we go back, and king rook goes here. We can't do anything about this, the pawn is lost, and so that's why after king f3 rook f7 we go here. So after king g2, king f5, h3, king g4, and after h2 rook h7, and this is also a draw because black can't advance, because if you advance then rook takes, and then king takes the pawn after the black king takes the rook. So yeah, this one is also a draw.